The Sharks rally back, but are unable to capitalize as they lose to the Flyers in the dreaded shootout.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Western Conference Tuesdays here on the Locked On NHL channel. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. If you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And today we're going to be discussing the Sharks' inability to capitalize when they have a golden opportunity, especially in overtime, as they lose 4-3 in a shootout. We need to get rid of the shootouts, guys. Just fire shootouts into the sun. Nobody likes them. So we'll be talking about the Lundline supremacy. Of course, the Smith, Celebrini, Michkov debate, which will rage on, I'm sure, in the comments of this YouTube show. And dig into the numbers and talk about the stinky, very bad, no good power play that has been the Sharks' power play as of late. So before we get into all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. This close. My big takeaway from this game is this team, like, you just can't count them out. And this was two bad teams going at it. Like, let's start there. This was two very bad teams going at it. But the Sharks have, they have a little bit of this DNA that you're starting to see come out. When things get bad, they keep fighting. Right. And that's all we've asked for. And you see it. You saw it again tonight, right? Being down 0-3 against this Flyers team. And that Flyers team definitely tried to park the bus. And that goes into it, right? When you're up 3-0 and you try to park the bus, and the Flyers aren't a good team, and they let the Sharks back in this game. But you saw a team that continued to go at it because, honestly, they were a little unlucky in the first, kind of the first half of the game. And they definitely slow starting the game, especially coming off on the second night of a back-to-back with travel, like all that stuff. But this team continues to at least make games interesting. That's one of the things going into the season we asked for, is just make things interesting for us, because after last year, that's all we want, right? Is just be competitive at times. And you look at where it started tonight, and it started with the Lundline, right? We had Eklund-Granlund, William Eklund, and Fabian Zetterlund reunited again. And William Eklund, primary assists on both goals, and you got Jack Thompson goal. We'll take that, right? You got to take it. You don't ask how, you just ask how many. Jack Thompson gets a great goal because of a nice William Eklund feed. He's in the right place at the right time, bounces off a skate and goes in. That's 2 games in a row where the Sharks have gotten goals off of skates. Again, in the season, we don't care. We just want to know how many did they score. But that was 2 guys making good plays, driving to the net, doing what you needed to do. And then the second goal, the Granlund goal. Again, what does William Eklund do? He goes behind the net, which is where he is at his best, creates space, and is able to get a beautiful pass back to Granlund, who's able to snipe at home and from where he normally snipes at home. Right? Eklund, we asked Eklund, got demoted a couple of games ago to the fourth line. How does he respond? He responds with 2 primary assists tonight to help fuel the Sharks rally. This game is littered with missed opportunities from both sides. The Flyers had plenty of opportunities to put this thing away, weren't able to. The Sharks had plenty of opportunities to snatch this game away and weren't able to. And it came down again to the dumb shootout, which I'm just saying is dumb right now because the Sharks, unfortunately, just can't find a way to score in the shootout right now. But I think though for San Jose, you have to still. I know it stinks losing tonight, but right, you beat the best team, one of the best teams in the league, and the Devils. And maybe their record's a little inflated because they've played more games. That they're still a very good team, a playoff team. Flyers game, you started out poorly, but you kind of crawled and scratched back into this game, and you got a point that you didn't expect to get. Right? Like maybe they get the floor mop by the Rangers on Thursday. That's like you kind of expect it, but the Rangers have been a really up and down team. And then you play the Penguins, who gave up 6 in the first period tonight to the Stars. I haven't checked the game since then, but like there is a real opportunity to feel pretty good about yourself, and it was 7-1 the final score. I just checked. You have a pretty good opportunity to feel really good about yourself in the direction of where this team is going, and especially for again how talent poor this team is. It's basically it's very much one solid line at times, maybe two. We'll talk more about the Celebrini line here in a little bit, but and then you're just trying to get contributions from other guys and trying to figure out that third line, and you're still trying to figure out your defensive pairs, and you're missing your best defenseman in Jake Wallman. Like, right, there's a lot of things that you very easily the Sharks could just be like, you know what, it's fine, whatever. Like, let's just kind of get through this. No, like I think it's impressive, and I think that's one of the big differences with Warsawski versus Quinn. How many times do we see this team roll over last year under Quinn, and how many times does Ryan Warsawski, they continue to keep fighting, plugging along with it, and I think that's a huge thing for Ryan Warsawski, who has his issues, and there's one of those issues is the power play, which has been bad, and we'll talk about that more, but I think it's a huge kind of reason why the Sharks hired him is because they feel like this team, once they get more talent around it, like this team could be very good with Ryan Warsawski as the head coach. But of course, we can't escape without talking about the Celebrini versus Michkov versus Will Smith. And Michkov had his night tonight with a goal, an assist, and then he scored what eventually became the game-winning goal in the shootout. Michkov, he had his moments. He had the points tonight. But like, I don't know, watching Michkov, like, he's fine. I mean, if he was wearing teal, I'd be on here rah-rahing about Michkov, about how great he is. But like, he did some great stuff, right? But you still see like there's still things he needs to iron out, just like Will Smith still has stuff he needs to iron out, and Macklin Celebrini still has stuff that he needs to work on as well. But it was good to kind of see like where everyone stacks up at right now, and like kind of ranking it. Like, so I'd still rather have Celebrini than Michkov, and I don't think that's that hot of a take, because I think Celebrini is just a better two-way player, and we saw like Celebrini made some great plays defensively tonight, which you do not expect from an 18-year-old kid. And while I'd say most people would rather have Michkov than Smith right now, that doesn't mean in 5 years that you'd rather have Michkov for Smith. Like, who knows where it goes? And I think it's too early to tell, but it's still fun to kind of, especially with these guys, see how these guys, especially being Eastern and West, like we're not going to see the Flyers that much. It's just kind of a nice peek over the fence to kind of see what's going on over there. And, Michkov had the points tonight. He had a really great assist tonight. And the goal that he scored, like, off a Will Smith turnover, but like, Mario Ferraro, what are you doing there, bro? And also Barclay Goodrow, can you help out a guy when he's down, like got two guys on him? Like, Will Smith not put in the best position there. Like Michkov kind of cheated the zone and he got rewarded for it. How often do guys cheat the zone and then next thing you know, it's in the back of their own net? So I'm not going to make any grand sweeping judgments on the Michkov versus Smith debate tonight, but was fun. It's again, you don't want to compare the children, but sometimes it's fun to compare the children. So, but yeah, I think overall though, you have to feel good about the direction of the Sharks, both long term and short term, and just how much this team has just kind of evolved in, basically a month now. And you throw away the first 9 games as this team was starting to come together, you're starting to see a team that is going to be competitive most nights. They're going to make teams have to work for it, and they're going to scrape out more points than you expect. So we'll dig into the numbers behind this game. Kind of talk about the different lines, talk about line supremacy, and then, of course, we're going to have to talk about a stinky power play. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. The World Series, Super Bowl, the Olympics, the world's top athletes get to play in all these top level sport events thanks to one thing: teamwork. And teamwork can also protect your financial legacy and your family's future. SelectQuote's licensed insurance agents are the perfect teammates when shopping for customized, affordable life insurance, and you can find the right policy to keep your financial legacy safely in your family's end zone. SelectQuote is one of America's leading insurance brokers with nearly 40 years of experience, helping over 2 million customers find over $700 billion in coverage since 1985. You invest so much time to take care of yourself and be the healthiest, best version of you. SelectQuote's exclusive policies can reward that effort. If you're in good health, they work with carriers that get you the same day coverage for up to $5 million. No medical exam required. So get the right life insurance for you for less at selectquote.com/lockedonnhl. Go to selectquote.com/lockedonnhl to get started. That's selectquote.com/lockedonnhl. And if you want to get big action in the NFL, you need to check out FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get the hunch in the middle of a game, maybe a Tyreek Hill touchdown, you can check the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, let's dig into the numbers of this game, which there's very much Flyers. Like the numbers are very skew Flyers in this game, but there's some positives to take away from the Sharks. So 51-31 average time on time on ice in this game for 5-on-5. Very nice 69-35 shots for in favor of the Flyers. 66.35 to 33.65 Corsi for. So not Sharks heavily outshot, and this really kind of took off. Kind of in the second period, Sharks were able to kind of keep things. They scored the 2 goals, and then the Flyers really kind of tried to put things away, but weren't able to. Actual shots on goal, though, 37-22, 29-16 scoring chances favor of the Flyers, and 13-8 high danger chances, all at 5-on-5. Expected goals for 1.96 to 3.24, of course, in favor of the Flyers. The Flyers scored 2 even strength goals. The Sharks had 3 in that time. So for the actual forward lines, Eklund-Granlund-Zetterlund played 12, 19, 13 shot attempts for, 13 allowed, 7-6 actual shots on goal. Did have the 2 goals. Again, talked about those earlier. Eklund just doing positive things tonight. 0.42 to 0.65 expected goals for, 3-6 scoring chances, 2-3 high danger chances for this line. And it's as we've kind of talked about, right? It feels like it's always one line going, and we don't really get too much of the can we get 2 positive lines going in? It was very much the one line kind of having to carry the load tonight. And that's not to say the Celebrini line was bad. We'll get to that line here in a little bit, but it's this line. I think you're right now. I think the Sharks are going to have to think really hard about keeping this line together because it just kind of feels like it's just like an ace up your sleeve that you can just pull out anytime, and this line is going to work. I mean, basically, whatever line Granlund's on is going to work, and right now, this line is working for the Sharks. Dellandrea, Celebrini, Toffoli played 10:37, 9 to 12 shot attempts, 7 to 7 actual shots, 0.95 to 0.75 expected goals for. And then they had 6 to 5 scoring chances, 4 to 3 high danger chances. So probably should have been rewarded for a goal with their efforts. And I think that kind of comes down to Toffoli, who's been very, very, very quiet here, especially I think since the Utah game is really kind of been very quiet for Saint. I actually know he's the LA game where they beat LA the second night of back to back. But right, they're doing good things here, and I think they're going to get rewarded for their efforts here really soon. Like a couple episodes ago, we talked about Eklund. Eklund's doing positive things, right? He's going to get rewarded with points. You saw 2 points tonight, 2 primary assists tonight, and he's probably going to be overdue for goal scoring. I think Toffoli's the same thing, right? And every goal scorer, you're going to go through ups and downs. Toffoli is pro. He will find the back of the net here soon. As soon as he finds the back of the net, he's probably going to go on a little bit of a streak here as well. So, Dellandrea is interesting. Like he kind of fits with that line and what they want to do. He kind of provides some forechecking, some toughness and stuff. But I'm curious to see if they make any tweaks here going into the Rangers game and kind of where everyone fits. And it seems very much like Klim Kostin's forever in the doghouse right now, which is very fair. But I'm curious to see what they do here with that spot, right? It's like you have 5 guys for 2 lines right now, and you're trying to find that 6th guy right now. Will Smith, Wenberg, and Goodrow played 5:39. Will Smith playing on the wing tonight, and we kind of wondered, like, how are they going to solve? Yesterday we talked about, right, you have 3 centers for 4 spots. How are you going to solve it? Putting Will Smith on the wing, and like he tonight, he had some defensive miscues and some stuff that he probably wants back, but I still think there's a lot of positive plays there from him. He made a nice defensive play, then goes and wins kind of a board battle and gets the puck right to the net to create a high danger chance right there. Like he did some good stuff. And I think, again, like we don't need to make every game the Will Smith referendum. Long, slow process. But that line, 5 for 5 on shot attempts. Actual shots was 3 to 4 in favor of the Flyers. Did give up 2 goals, 0.17 to 0.3 expected goals for. 2 to 4 scoring chances, 1 high danger chance from that line. Then you have the Cunnin, Sturm, Giovanni Smith line, played 3:46, and this is like impressive. 0 shot attempts, gave up 11. Actual shots was 0 to 4, 0 to 0.48 expected goals for, 0 to 6 scoring chances, 0 to 4 high danger chances. And again, like Giovanni Smith, like he does some positive things, but like if you can't ice the dude because 1, he's in the penalty box after a fight every game, and 2, he's playing 601 a night, like I like that line. Stern played 724, Giovanni Smith played 601. Same time, Granlund's playing 24 minutes tonight. Celebrini almost 23 in a game where you were thinking about potentially scratching Celebrini because of development. He plays almost 23 minutes tonight. Eklund played 20 minutes. Like those are your 3 forwards over 20 minutes tonight. And I know also you had a huge power play opportunity, like 2 minutes basically power play time that really in the overtime that kind of inflates the numbers a little bit, but it's just not. It's tough when you can only ice a guy when you're putting a guy out there that you can only play for 6 minutes, right? I just think it wears out the rest of your forwards. And yes, the Sharks were also trying to come back from 0 to 3. Like you're trying to rely on your top guys to try to get you back in this game. I get all that, but we got to try to find some more balance here, because like you can't have a guy that you're playing 6 minutes a night. And Nico Sturm, like, I think deserves more ice time than 7 minutes a night. Like, Nico Sturm is like a quality player, who probably should be in at least in 10 minutes a night territory. But yeah, it's a little bit tough there to kind of see those minutes. As for Vitek Vanacek tonight, so he saw a plethora of shots, of course. Made 39 saves on 42 shots. Gave up 3 goals, expected goals against 3.89, so positive night for him. 929 save percentage, 8 high danger saves on 8 high danger shots, 8 for 11 on the mid danger, and 19 of 19 on the low danger there. It's kind of weird the Michkov one wasn't considered a high danger, but I would say that's very much a high danger there, with Michkov screaming down the middle. So solid night. I think probably wants the first one back, but I was also like, the Flyers did a very good job of kind of pressing, and we'll talk more about this pressing here in a little bit. But I think you can't pin this one on Vanacek because he made some big saves to keep the Sharks in this game. Like, it very much felt like if they gave up one more, this game was over, and he kept them in this thing and earned them a point they probably didn't deserve. So we'll talk about the power play here and the issues that it's had, because it has been it's been very bad. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awards winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, also Florida, Georgia, and Texas. They also have real money sports action, so you can join over 10 million users and sign up today. Sign up today, and you'll get $50 instantly when you play your first $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So with PrizePicks, you can win money as your favorite players collect points. So if you think Macklin, Celebrini, maybe he goes full Tomas Hertl against the Rangers, has more than half a goal in him, you pick more on Celebrini in your PrizePicks entry and turn your predictions into cash. So all you have to do is download the app today, use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app, use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, before we finish up here, do want to, of course, thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Probably part of the Locked On Network. For your second listen, go check out one of the other great shows, including you have Locked On Fantasy Hockey. So if your hockey team needs some help, whether who to trade away, who to drop, who to pick up on waiver wires, all that fun stuff, they've got you covered there. Or check out one of the other shows here in the Bay Area. Of course, you have Locked On Niners, Locked On Warriors, Locked On A's, Locked On Giants. Plenty of great stuff. We're again at Locked On, cover your team every day. And the power play. So this, I think, is really an issue that is hampering the Sharks right now, is because, especially when you're a team like the Sharks, where every goal you have to kind of scratch and claw and fight to get, like, there's no easy goals for the Sharks. And the power play, I think, is really holding this team back from kind of taking that next step. And you saw it tonight, right? I know this Flyers penalty kill is very good, right? They're ranked 3rd in the league right now. And the way they kind of did it, right, was pressuring the Sharks and making sure that San Jose, as soon as they get the puck, like, they have to make a decision with it, which is very good when it works, right? And it worked for the Flyers tonight. So I think for San Jose, like, you have to kind of figure out that counter and what happens when you get pressured. And I think that's where the Sharks really need to maybe look at who is on that top unit, right? Because you have Wenberg, right? Net front presence, win the draw, net front presence. You have Granlund, kind of the facilitator. You have Toffoli, one of the shooters. You have Celebrini, facilitator / shooter, and Liljegren, who's kind of running it at the quarterback. And I wonder if the Sharks look to add another puck protector. Because I think that's one of their big issues, right? Is they're getting pressured and they kind of just fumble the puck. And that's where I think William Eklund could maybe really help this power play, because like Granlund's good at kind of protecting the puck, and you want Celebrini out there and you want to Foley. Like maybe the Sharks might need to play with the 5 forward unit right now, especially Liljegren, who I think is coming along here, but there's just still a lot of pieces not fitting together. And if you have Granlund, who can kind of play the quarterback, we've seen him play the quarterback, and even tonight when they had the 4 forwards on the ice for the overtime power play, Granlund was playing kind of the quarterback defensive spot because he's the most responsible guy out there with all of them. But I think Eklund and his ability to protect the puck, one, his ability to play down behind the net, I think that's something the Sharks need to look at doing more, is trying to play from behind the net, because I think that helps limit the pressure, especially up the top, right? If you're not going to have a defenseman out there, I think you need to play lower than where the Sharks have been playing. And I would like to see what the adjustments that they do here, because this power play has been bad. Like, I think what they say, they've scored like 2 for 20 or something like that. And you saw it. I mean, they had some great opportunities. I would say out of the 3 power plays, you saw like one that was just terrible, where they just can't get set up because they can't deal with the pressure. Like anytime they get pressure, they just can't deal with it. You saw one that had some moments, and then I think the overtime one looked good, but that also was a 4-on-3, and it's hard to kind of count that one because it's 4-on-3 in overtime. And so I wonder if Warsofsky goes back to maybe last year and look at, especially right now, and Thompson I think's played well, and Liljegren I think's played well, but I think this power play really needs a spark, and I would try it out. And again, right, like you're playing the Rangers on Thursday, maybe it's one of those like they haven't seen it in a while, like they haven't been able to prepare for it. Maybe you're able to kind of find a bit of a spark with it, but I think that's what the Sharks really need to try to figure out something here. And then on the second power play unit, right, again, you're running out of dudes, so you have to play like your Cunnins and your Wenbergs and stuff, or not Wenberg, but your Cunnins and your Goodrows. But they play the Rangers, who have the best penalty kill in the league right now. So I would try it out. Like, what's the worst? If you give up a shorthanded goal, then okay, like you can. It's not like you can't just throw another like the defenseman back out there. But I think they need to try to shake this up. And for a Sharks team that, again, every goal is they have to kind of work and scratch for it, I'd be willing to try to get your 5 best players out there. And if that's your 5 best, if they're forwards, then so be it, because the Sharks, they can't live in a world where they're not getting anything from the power play, and they have too many talented players to not utilize the power play, and for this power play to be somewhat decent. So that's my call to you, Ryan Warsofsky. I know you're definitely listening because you have nothing better to do than listen to Locked On Sharks. But let's see the 5-man forward power play right now, because this power play needs a shakeup. Getting Eklund on the power play, who I think helps to solve that, is as a puck guy who can protect the puck against pressure. We've seen how good he is at that. It's one of his best qualities, is kind of puck control and hanging on to the puck. Let's see, maybe if you run it from behind the net for a little bit, or just try to give something different, because right now it's so hit or miss, and their biggest issue is, 1, not being able to set up, and 2, just any sort of pressure and the thing is back out and they're trying to have to reset up, and it just is, you got to find something else. So that's my suggestion. Let's see the 5 forward unit, see if that can at least solve something, or at least give it a spark while you try to work on things, and get some guys some confidence here, and let Celebrini keep shooting. He's going to crush one here, and, maybe also give Toffoli and Celebrini. One of those guys is going to crush one here soon. So that's going to be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow, probably talking prospects, some of the Sharks prospects or something. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter at myfryhole. Till tomorrow. Bye, friends.